You either is or you ain't. You do or you don't. You can or you can't. Or you will or you won't. Either way, baby, a good man, well, he's hard to find. Welcome to the One More for the Good Guys podcast, where good guys gather to shed light on the good life, the people, and the good things that make it that way. I'm Mike McGill with my co-host, Jamie Akins. Now, raise your glass, lend us your ear, and let's have one more for the good guys. You either is or you ain't. You do or you don't. You can or you can't. Or you will or you won't. Either way, baby, a good man, well, he's hard
to find. On today's guest episode, we have our longtime friend and soon-to-be yours, Cindy Lou Douglas. Knoxville native, local business owner, national park lover, and world traveler. She's a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll, and 100% pure style. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Cindy Lou Douglas.
Now, sorry, don't cut it when it's every other time. So first of all, welcome to the Honky Tonk.
Thanks for having me.
I've been debating on whether to keep calling it the Honky Tonk or if I just call it like the Stumble Inn.
I like the Honky Tonk.
INN or the Dewdrop Inn.
The Honky Tonk suits you.
It does kind of suit me.
Yeah.
So you were here back when I first started to work on this thing, and got the hair up my butt to build it. And we called all the podnas from the farm, and Cindy came up
with the
chainsaw, and we started cutting trees and building stuff. I think we had this box built or framed. We didn't have it, in the dryer or anything. We had it framed, and then we were doing this one the day everybody was here. And that being said, it definitely looks a lot different than it did back then, with it just being framed up and everything. So I'm glad you're here. I love you dearly.
I love you too.
And we've been friends. We were just saying we've probably been friends 20 years, I guess. And I don't reckon we've ever had an argument or disagreement. Maybe a disagreement, or
we've definitely had a disagreement.
I've definitely remember you getting real bossy with me before and telling me what I was supposed to do and what I wasn't supposed to do. Often.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But at any rate, thanks for coming up. Thanks for being here.
I'm definitely a believer in the Mike McGill.
Oh yeah? Why is that?
You're always good to everybody.
Well.
And you have a good way of, kindly stating your opinion. You're honest, kind, and direct. And I feel like that's something I want to be.
I
want to be more like that.
I did not pay her any money.
No, actually, that will be the only time I say anything that sweet. But no, I'm just kidding. But no, it's about being honest, kind, and direct.
Well, thank you.
And I think that's maybe it's a Knoxville way. I think we get it from Dolly because she's like that.
I think sometimes I can be
probably more of a mascot way than it is a Knoxville way. I'll say that.
I think sometimes I can be a little too direct.
Oh yeah, you're a prick, really. But
somebody needs to be.
Yeah, that's true.
And at least it's you, because there's always usually kindness and good intention behind it. If he was a complete ass and he was being, he was just a natural asshole, that's different.
I'll tell you this, we've talked about this before, but I've played in 100 bands probably. And as far he deals with, not hecklers, because we're pretty rough looking bunch, so we don't get any hecklers, but
you haven't had me there.
Well, you know what I mean. You get some of this crowd in that's had a little bit too much to drink, get a little bit big for their britches. He's the best there is at disarming that and making them feel good about it. Basically saying "fuck you," and they love it.
Being honest, kind, and direct.
So he's got that.
It's had to be sweet.
Yeah, that's
Tell them they're an asshole. I don't know. It's
true.
I've had to deal with it for so long, being in the business. There definitely is. And none of it is said. You don't say any of it with any kind of
no malice
or any kind of intent other than,
shut up, I'm saying.
Yeah, one jackass at a time. Right now I'm him,
Yeah.
So
stuff like that,
I wish I was better at that.
They gave me a microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then again, there's been 20 plus years of every parking lot, from every grand thing that I've done and played, places that I've played, there's been 1,000 little shitty ones, So I guess you just learn to be, my first gig that I did solo with just me and a guitar was at Jimmy's. And dude, if that wasn't hand-to-hand combat, I don't know what was. I mean, cash only, beer bar, 400 TVs.
Play 3 steps all the time.
Oh, just everything, And I remember one time, I may have told this before, but when I got down there, Jimmy, who was, God rest his soul, was just he was a mentor. He was just such a good friend. But, he took me over there to where I was going to play. And he said, now everything right here in this whole area, this is yours. You do with it how you see fit. You run it how you want to run it. And I thought, oh hell, I've got creative control. I've got creative licensing here. Okay, I'll be good with this. And one night, there were 2 girls sitting pretty close, and one of them said, I don't know, she called out some song, and the girl sitting with her was kind of a regular. And she goes, oh, he won't play that. He's an asshole.
Oh, Lord.
And I heard her. And that's another thing. I have really good hearing. And I said, excuse me? Oh, I said, no, it's okay. You can say it again because I heard you when you said it the first time. Said I was an asshole and I wasn't going to play that song. I said, well, it's not because I'm an asshole. It's because I don't know the song she's talking about. I said, but, if you don't like it, it's real simple. You can leave. And she started crawfishing and started backing up and this and that and the other. And I kind of let her off the hook, kind of smiled and giggled. And I said something, completely backhanded but smart with a big smile, and it was over. And at my first break, I went back to the back of the bar, and Jimmy was sitting there. We had another friend there named Mark, and Mark said, yeah, I told Jimmy. He started laughing when I walked up, and I knew what he was laughing about. He said, I told Jimmy that old girl over there was giving you hell. And I said, what'd Jimmy say? Because I still kind of worried, I might
lose your gig.
I might lose my gig,
Yeah. Don't run off my customers.
Yeah. And I said, well, what did Jimmy say? And he said, well, if she's getting on him now, she won't stay there long. She'll get off real quick. So,
yeah.
But, in a lot of those cases, it's like hand-to-hand combat. But.
And it takes one to know one.
It does take one to know one for sure. Maybe that's how you got the invite.
Well, I worked at Long Branch Saloon.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Well,
and I'm a hairdresser.
You should have been real good with that then.
I'm good at talking.
I didn't know you when you worked at Long Branch, did I?
I don't know if you did.
I didn't ever come in there very much either.
But I worked there. maybe 2002 or 3.
Yeah.
I was kind of there on and off, I guess, for a while, and I'm real close with Diane and John that own it. And
now they sold it?
No, they still own it, and they just rent it out to someone else.
Okay.
It kind of pays their bills. They say, they.
Well, yeah.
So it's pretty cool. They've been offered plenty of money for it, but they don't want to get rid of it. But
what is it now? Do you know?
I think it's called Leaderboard. A place that neither of us would ever go.
Yeah.
Ever. Probably.
But it's still a bar?
It's still a bar. It's down on campus.
Yeah.
The Long Branch Saloon days. My God.
Oh, man. Yeah. The god-awfulest bathrooms in the planet.
The men's bathroom at the, I guess it was the men's bathroom because it had the one and only trough. The other one didn't.
The weenie wash.
The weenie wash. Right above it, it says, my girlfriend asked me to kiss her where it stinks, so I brought her in here.
Yeah, I remember that.
I
remember that.
Love that. I think I've wrote it on walls before now.
That's funny.
Just a couple.
Oh. Well, Jamie and I went to school together, so he's a Carter guy. And Cindy went to Carter for a little while. And she started...
let's not talk about when we graduated.
Well, I don't look it, but I'm country as fuck. I'm Chinese.
Well, you're drinking
Irish.
Jack Daniels.
Well, I've always thought I was Chinese Irish. And I found out since 1 or 2, 3andMe and all that.
Yeah. Did you do it?
I've done Ancestry, but they keep coming up with more and more. Like they'll send you like more updates and whatever. And turns out I'm Vietnamese and Scottish, and I was like, yes, I kind of love that.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. And went to Carter.
Yeah.
So started at Sunnyview.
Really?
Yeah. And then I my dad was in the Air Force, so we traveled all over the place. And then, but it was kind of a back and forth thing. So I was like at 9 different schools by the time I was in 8th grade. So
did your dad met your mom during his travels and his military travels?
Yes.
In China?
They met in Vietnam.
Okay.
And he couldn't speak English, or I'm sorry, she couldn't speak English. He couldn't speak Vietnamese, but she also knew Chinese. Turns out they both knew French, and that's how they had to communicate for years.
Wow.
That's the only romantic thing about that entire relationship. But, yeah.
Where did I guess they learn French in school or just during their travels or?
Well, differently. Like my mom grew up, and learned that. And my dad took it in college.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So when he joined the military, he went there. He was in Vietnam, and I wish I could tell you more of the story, but
sure,
they don't really talk much about. Like it's sad, but I don't know a lot about either of them, or especially my mom. She's kind of secretive. But this is a woman that also was born in Cambodia. So
wow, yeah.
Yes. She's seen a lot.
She's lived in secret
so she doesn't
all
like
her life,
to relive
probably.
it. So it's hard to.
Sure.
And you don't want to try to pull information out of somebody that doesn't want to get, give it.
Right.
So
I
let that one just.
Yeah.
Figure it out as I go.
Is your mom still with us?
Yes, she lives in California, and
okay.
Me and my fella are going to actually go out there in November to see her.
Good. What part of California?
She lives in the LA area,
okay,
toward Alhambra, Long Beach, I believe.
Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm. I'm a weirdo, man. I'm stretched all over the place.
Well, that's all right. Hell, who ain't? I think the word weirdo is a term of endearment.
I know. Thank
most
you.
of the time in my life.
I agree.
Have you been out there? Have you been out there before?
I've been all over the place.
To see her, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I usually try to spend a couple of days visiting her, and then I'd have to take 5 days after that or before.
To recuperate.
Going to a park, or I drive the coast, or go to a national park, because I'm trying to get to all of them. So there's a lot over there.
Well, speaking of that, your travels has taken you to you've been a national park seer,
an advocate
and
lover
of the national parks.
Yeah.
What all of are there? I'm sure there's some you haven't been to.
Oh, there's plenty that I'd like to see, but I think I'm probably around 43.
Odd
that you've been to.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
Ooh. They're all so special.
Give me a top three.
Top okay,
three.
All right. I love Glacier.
That's my favorite.
It's my favorite, and some of my favorite people live up in Montana, as you know.
Right.
Let's see. Ooh. How about Denali?
I have not been there.
Oh, this is tough, because I can't say Smoky Mountains, because it ain't fair, because I live here. But I'm not going to say it. I'm just not, because it's also the most visited park.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say Big Bend.
Okay.
It's I wasn't even excited about going there. It's so far southern Texas, Yeah. But it was really special. It was different, and it was just it's the energy that you collect from a place, and it's not that it was scenically my favorite, but there's something I don't know, something I took away from there that was real special,
So that's in Texas, South Texas, and then Denali's in Washington,
Alaska.
In Alaska. Oh,
and there's 7 there, so it's going to be very difficult to get them all, and I've only got 2.
Right. And then Glacier, of course, Montana. What was one that maybe? Well, it may have been Big Bend. That you weren't necessarily, like you said, you weren't necessarily hoping, you weren't expecting big things, and then
big things and Big Bend.
Yeah,
really? Say it 5 times.
Is there another one that was like a sleeper, maybe another one that
something that you could just everyone can avoid? No.
Well,
or weird ones.
Well, no, just like one that you just weren't expecting a lot, and it may have turned out to be one of your one that you really enjoyed, or not necessarily a favorite, but
Bryce Canyon.
Okay, and where's that?
Bryce Canyon is in Utah.
Okay.
And it's like right next to Zion. And everyone loves Zion, but Bryce is really small. And I'm not going to lie, I would really love to go there during a full moon with all those hoodoos and eat a bag of mushrooms. And it would be such a beautiful trip to see that moon and all those rocks and white sand everywhere. It's just so cool.
I've heard Utah's actually pretty.
It's beautiful.
Very scenic.
Well, a lot of the westerns were filmed in Utah.
Yeah.
So
a place that's amazing. That's not. I mean, it's kind of on your way back from there that a lot of people don't check out. It's not a national park, but it's called Chaco Canyon, and it is. It's a rad place. It's pretty intense. I don't know. It's a very spiritual place.
Right.
Again, it's this feeling, where you're like, whoa.
And that again's where?
It's in let's see. We were on our way back. So was that New Mexico? I think maybe New Mexico.
Sounds right.
Chaco Canyon.
Not that I would actually know.
And it was so off the beaten path. I was like, are we going up through here? And it got weird too. I ain't gonna lie. We stopped at a couple of gas stations and this man comes and walks slowly to the window of the car. Kara ran in to pay, and I was like, and he knocks on the door, and I look at him and he says, "Can I have your bike?" They were on the back of the car. No.
No.
Okay. And he walks away.
Oh,
I was like, okay, that happened twice.
really?
Actually, in the same town. It was, well, one was in a gas station kind of outside on the reservation. It was weird. I was
Wow.
like, so we had to drive down like this road. I forgot. It's been a long time, but I was like, man, this feels really weird. I don't even know if we should drive back that far. At this point, I'm feeling uneasy. And then I get there, and it was all I could do not to choke Kara because she wouldn't quit talking in my back. And she was like chewing gum and talking, and I was having this whole spiritual layout. And I was just like, and I would slow down and speed up to get away from her. And I finally turned around and went, I'm going to need a minute.
10 feet in 10 minutes.
We're such good friends, and it's okay.
Yeah. Well,
like, I need a minute.
Yeah.
I do. It's cool there, Chaco Canyon.
It is
Nice.
indeed in New Mexico.
Yeah.
I looked it up. It's in the Four Corners area up there.
okay.
Yeah.
So it'd be around New Mexico, Nevada, Arizona, California, I guess.
Utah.
Yeah.
Utah. Okay. Yeah.
It's in New Mexico, though, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Northwest New Mexico.
That's a weird little corner of the world, but
Yeah.
New
everything
Mexico.
brings a little spice.
There you go.
New Mexico's a different place. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I've been
So
there.
is Virginia. And
Yes.
so is Texas. That's all I'm going to mention.
Texas is
Yeah.
actually 3 different places. It's completely different.
Yeah.
West Texas and South Texas and East Texas are.
The state's
Yeah.
too damn big to not
It's
be.
crazy.
Like, it's
Yeah.
got to have sections.
Yeah. I've been through Texas.
It's like 4 Marylands.
Yeah. Been through there several times. We went to, in 2016, we went to see Vols play Texas A&M out in College Station.
They talked about that on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's the first time we beat them. Saturday.
Yeah. Well, it's it's 3-2 now. The series is 3-2.
I think it's the first time we beat them in SEC play.
Right.
They lost in 16. We did.
Yes,
Right.
we did. It was like a 3 overtime game. Craziness. That was a great trip. We stopped there. We also went into Austin for a little while.
You say Austin?
Austin, yeah.
What did you think of Austin?
I thought it was fine. I didn't,
I just got to know. Wait,
Well,
just stop it. Just say,
I'm gonna.
okay.
I thought it was fine. I had a really good time there. It had much of a bigger city kind of vibe, even though it's not, like Dallas, Fort Worth or Houston. It's nothing like that. But it was cool, we were there, we got there, got our hotel, had a cookie, smoked a joint, drank a couple beers, and was out the door. And went to the Continental Club that night. And actually was blown away there. Yeah. The Blasters were playing. And it was elbow to elbow. I walked in the door. I'm wearing my overalls, my hat, whole deal. And walk up to the bar. Bartender's like, "What do you have?" I said, Robbie was with me. I said, "We'll have 2 shots of Jim Beam and 2 Lone Star long necks." She said, "All right." So she came back. She set them all down. And she turned around, I guess, to ring it up, or like I said, it was very busy. And she hadn't turned around very long, and she turned back around, and I had already slammed them and then pushed them back towards her. And she goes, "Oh, well, you want 2 more?" And I said, "Sweetheart, I can't drink them all night if I have to keep asking for them." And she kind of giggled, and man, if she seen me coming, she had me a shot and a beer waiting on me. I mean, it was just one of those magical nights, You know
what? You would be my favorite customer if I was working the bar or working at the Long Branch. I mean, I love it when you come into the chop shop.
Yeah.
I mean, I set aside some time because I know we're going to talk some shit for a minute, but
right.
while I cut your hair, but you're the best kind because you're entertaining. You tip, you drink.
Yeah.
And you know what? Those youngins can learn a thing or two. They can learn to actually have a better mouth on them.
Yeah. Well, you're just there to have a good time, and you're full of little piss and vinegar. You're full of yourself. That cookie was kind of kicking in, and that's always fun when you're out in public,
Really? Because I want to crawl inside myself and hide a sock.
I'm like that when I do like the shrooms or something hallucinogenic like that. I can't do that shit anymore.
I can't either, really. Let's be honest. I sat here and said that, but I don't really mean it either. I am a control freak, man.
I know that's when I feel it coming on, I start getting worried.
Anxious.
Yeah.
I've hidden somebody's VW van next to Barley's.
Yeah.
in the old city and not, downtown.
Yeah.
Because I was so freaked out. They were like, we were seeing, was it Gogo Bordello? I was there in Big Ears, and I had rushed home from that trip, actually, that I was talking about.
From Chaco
Can. Yeah, and I rushed home to go to Big Ears, and I was like, oh, I'm so excited. And I wanted to see Gogo Bordello, and he was playing under the stage there. And a friend of ours that I won't mention her name, gave me just what was a little extra of a micro dose. And by the time that show was over and it was amazing, I was freaking out. And I was and then I just got in town from being gone. People were walking by saying,
yeah,
hey, what's up? How's your trip? And it was too many people talking to me.
Yeah.
And I freaked out and was I need to go get in your bus and sit for a minute.
Yeah.
Freaking out.
I need 10 feet in 10 minutes.
I'm done now. So anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you, man. Last time I had a deal with that. I seen Macho. I watched Andy turn into Jabba the Hutt one night. And that fucked me up, man. Fucked me up bad. I was like, no more. I can't. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
You know what? I can see it.
Yeah.
I can get it.
So we're at the Continental Club, and I forgot about this part of the story. And we've seen the Blasters play, and I had heard about them through guys like Tim Lee and different alt rockers and country guys, that are around here. And like I said, had a hell of a night, And we went out on break, and we had a vape pen. That's right. So we were smoking too. And we got the sound guy high, which was really good. And he was fun. And then so we left. We were getting ready to leave. And the bartender said, hey, there's a bar upstairs, and they're having a kind of an after party deal up there if you guys want to hang out a while.
You just look like the top, I guess.
I guess so. I mean, I guess after fucking 12 shots of Jim Beam and 12 Lone Stars.
We were talking to the bartender, and we thought you'd like to go upstairs.
Yeah.
It's all his shit talking.
Yeah.
Bobby always calls me Fletch, and I swear to God, he's even better. He is like Fletch. So you're upstairs.
We go
Continental rock and roll room.
Yeah, we're upstairs. We're hanging out, and Robbie starts. We're there for a little while, and there's not really anything going on. So it wasn't like it was some. It wasn't like there was, it was a backstage kind of thing. But at any rate, we're hanging out, and Robbie starts kind of talking, authentic frontier gibberish. And I'm like, well, it's time for us to go. And there was a little pinup girl behind the bar that had two really, really big blue eyes. And I just, trouble was going to happen if we'd have stayed around. So I grabbed him and we went out, flagged a cab down because you can't Uber in Austin, or you couldn't then.
Right.
Flagged a cab down, and it's this little Korean guy named James. And of course, I'm drunk, I'm stoned, I'm messed up, and I love talking to cabbies. So if we're ever out somewhere, I talk to them like I've known them 100 years. How's your mom? How's your dad? All that stuff. Where you from? What brought you to Austin? And dude, this guy started.
That's how he disarms people.
I guess. And this guy just started telling us his whole life story.
Because everybody wants to tell you or talk.
Yeah. So he starts telling us, he's like, I came over from Korea. He said I didn't know anybody, didn't have any money, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what the fuck did you come to Texas for?
Seriously?
And I can't remember what he said, but he was like, this is the greatest country ever. And I'm getting ready to buy a house, and I've worked,
American dream.
Yeah, American dream, total American dream. And so I said, James, we got to get some food. I said, this guy's drunk. I said, I'm pretty drunk too. And he was like, what kind of food do you want? I was like, greasy food, cheeseburgers, fries, milkshakes, just food. He goes, I know this place up here. So we get up to this place. I can't remember what it was either. But he pulls up outside and he goes, I'll have to go in. He said, you have to go in to order. And I was like,
oh, no.
Okay. And I said, well, do you want anything? Oh, no, thank you. I'm okay. I said, it's going to be part of your tip. I'll have a cheeseburger, French fries. He gives so we go in and we get James his order. We get myself and Rob get our orders. We come back out, and he's just over the moon, just tickled to death. Of course I tipped him again, and, gets us back to the hotel. And we wake up that morning and, we're driving to College Station. So that was my one night in Austin. One day, one night in Austin. So I didn't get to see a whole lot. I seen a lot in the 3 or 4 places that I was in, but I didn't get to actually, walk the street and check all the different places out.
My Continental story is so inappropriate that I don't even want to say it, but
well, you got to now.
Well, now I'm not, but it's just, But the one only time I went to the Continental, I was so embarrassed because I was driving. I hated this car. My dad had this car like it, but they gave me a bright yellow one at the airport to rent because I was there for work,
right?
Teaching a class or something, and it was this bright yellow HT. Or was it it was like a PT Cruiser. It was an HT. It was like
it's a HRT.
Yeah. It was
the Chevy.
And it was yellow. It was yellow.
Yeah.
And I just happened to get a parking spot in the front of the place.
Oh, wow.
And I was already probably drinking and driving, and I probably shouldn't have been. I'm glad I've made it in my life. But anyway, so I get up in the front and I get out and somebody yells, "Nice car." And I was like, you little son of a bitch. And that's when I needed a Mike McGill,
Yeah.
What is the word of
the comeback?
Yes. I was like, you know what? This is ridiculous.
You should have said, thanks. I was trying to get a yellow one. I wish I was trying to find a yellow one.
And so I went in, and it just so happens that it was a tribute night to Johnny Cash.
Oh, wow.
And it was really super fun and amazing. And I had a great time. And,
Very good.
Anyway, moving on to the next.
Well,
there's two versions
and
of Austin,
this started out with weird states.
Every time somebody talks about Austin, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's the greatest place
I love
ever,"
it
whatever.
there.
I know they're not a musician.
Oh,
And then when they's like, "Yeah, it's okay," you're a musician, aren't you?
yeah.
Yeah.
probably hard
It's-
there, right?
Well, I don't know about that. There's a lot of opportunity to play there, but it's like,
Persnickety.
it's not the same kind of thing because Nashville and Austin are completely different, but it's the same kind of feeling for people that play music. It's like, when people find out, I talk to people all over the country at work and they find out, oh, you're near Pigeon Forge or you're near Nashville. And I'm like, well, don't you just love Nashville? And I'm like, nah, not really. It's like my least favorite place in the world.
Knoxville's always the best.
Yeah, you used to tell them when they say Nashville, just say, we don't use the N-word here in Knoxville.
I'm going to start using
We don't
that.
say that word.
That's good.
You have to be careful, though, because...
Oh, yeah, well, somebody's really offended, I'm sure.
Well, those type of people that are commenting on that kind of stuff are the people that you hope like bacteria, because that's the only kind of fucking culture they're ever going to get in their life. So there's that.
Well stated. Again,
Hey,
I mean, this guy.
I'm batting 1,000.
This guy.
Well, you come in bragging on me. I have to step my game up.
Well, you know what? This, be a decent person.
That's it. That's what you got to do.
Be a decent person. Be a decent human. Be
That's
kind.
It. And you treat people how you want to be treated.
Oh my God. I love that you just said that.
Well, you got
my
to,
dad passed in 2013, and he would always say, Cindy, people treat you how you let them treat you. You're treated like you let your. So like, I didn't always understand, as a kid growing up, like what exactly that meant.
Right.
And you're treated how you let people treat you, right?
Yeah.
And I remember someone like much later, I was cutting their hair and they were telling me so they were being kind of shitty to somebody. I was like, I can't even imagine that you were being like that to somebody. And they turned the chair around and said, Cindy Lou, you would never let me. And I thought, yeah, I've reached this point. You're right. I probably wouldn't. And I'd be kind about it.
Yeah.
But there's a look that you, and a way that you hold yourself that you're like, don't talk to me like that.
Yeah.
Just don't do that.
Yeah.
And you don't have to say much.
No.
It's a look that you have in your face.
Yeah. A look will do it. And just plain, just plain talk, man.
Yeah.
People don't know what to think when
you're just, not everyone knows.
When
you are what you know. And so you just happen to.
My dad always told me that plain talk was easily understood.
How do you learn plain talk?
Well, from him, you used your head for something other than a hat rack. I got that one all my life.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Well, you already start using your head for something besides a hat rack. So.
I like that.
Yeah. But at any rate, so you were saying about so people who may or may not know, you're a national park advocate, a world traveler, and you're also a entrepreneur and a business lady, a business owner.
When you say it like that, I never really think of myself as that. But you made it sound really good. I like it.
Well,
so whatever I'm doing, I'm going to keep doing it. But
absolutely,
you said that. But you know what? I don't know. I just like to get after it.
Yeah.
There's stuff I want to do and see, and running out of time.
Yeah. Well,
but now as I get older, all I want to do is I actually want to. I want to connect more with people. I read the other day only 10% of kids go outside and play now. And I said, whatever I do in the world, I'm going to make it that. I want to change something about that.
Right.
Because it's really good for mental health.
Absolutely.
To get outside and and if somebody or 10 people listen to us and they hear that part, I want that to be said in public.
Yeah.
Is get the fuck outside.
That's right.
And get some air.
Yeah.
And breathe.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a real
when
big
we were
deal.
kids,
walk in the backyard.
You didn't have a choice. You got told to go outside, but
right.
Also, you didn't have, 400 streaming services to watch anything you wanted, and video games were just coming on. So,
going to a movie was a big deal.
Big deal. But now I find myself, because the people in my life are like, you need to get out and walk or whatever. Like, I'm working. I can't work at the same time. And then, but anytime I do, I feel so much better. You need to be outside.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
I've been watching the Blue Zone about like people that lived to be 100.
Oh yeah,
that's what I was telling you about.
I mean, I love that show. I saw the Okinawa one, and the little lady at the end, like dancing around with the bottle on her head, and I was like, I want to be her. Like she's like dancing, and she's like 100, and she's got a bottle, and she's just giggling and laughing. And I got to say, one of the things
you're totally gonna be
that they said
lady.
Was. One of the things in the show that don't be angry.
Yeah.
Try not to be angry or upset.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about social media or the internet, and people are like, it's almost like the lion's den. Like
they
people want
to be mad.
They want to be mad.
Yeah. I've fallen into that trap myself.
They love it.
I have too, and I still do sometimes.
Yep.
But I have to remind myself, and hopefully reminding others that wait, stop. You know
what? I have more fun on social media these days. Like Susan Armstrong, Susan.
I love Susan.
I do too. And she sends me all kinds of silly pet videos.
Oh my God, I'm that person.
And I send them to her.
Everyone has their person then.
Yeah. And then I got guys that I send all the wrestling stuff to, because they're big wrestling fans or from back in the day or whatever. Then you got car guys and you got music guys and you just got to, but
it's the only reason I get
lovers, and who doesn't?
It's the only reason I get on Instagram is to see what he sent me. I got 3 people that send me like those type of things.
Goofy shit.
Find my handle.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll send you all kinds of.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
when I'm even on there, I'm trying to be better about knowledge.
That's the only reason I get on there.
Well, that's the whole Facebook thing. I used to be on it constantly.
Well, only old people are on there now, as well.
I know. Yeah.
From Matt Morlock.
I know the
only old people are on there.
Tickety talk.
Yeah, but I like old people.
I mean, those are usually my friends.
True.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Well, I get on there now to promote shows, and that's about it. And I
post a cigar pic.
Something like that. Or something funny or something uplifting,
That was the other thing. Always making people laugh.
Yeah.
Making people laugh.
Yeah, it's good.
That Blue Zone thing's a lot about community too. They spend a lot of time with each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just don't do it that much anymore. I don't post my opinions. I don't write a bunch of that bullshit. And everybody I see on there is always talking and or posting or calling or bringing attention to something shitty. And it's like, if you motherfuckers would ever learn that the more you do that, the more you're giving them what they want. You're giving them like the recognition.
And you're inviting that shit into your life. It's a law of attraction. You spout
law of attraction.
And you get that stuff. Yeah.
Well, you think
this is a good conversation.
Trump or any politician or anybody that, I remember hearing Dale Earnhardt say it way back in the day, and I hated Dale Earnhardt.
Well, not everybody's perfect. Yeah, but go ahead.
We're all striving.
Well,
we just ain't going to get there. So, continue.
The same guy hates the Yankees and Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get you checked out.
And the same guy that likes both of them.
Whoa.
Can fuck
Settle
straight
down,
off.
y'all. Settle down.
Hey, listen,
continue. with your story.
Yes, Miss Douglas. But it's like, there was a interview with him. He was sitting in his car, and then Dr. Jerry Punch, he comes up to him. He says, "Hey, a lot of people are talking about your style of racing, and you're reckless. You're putting people. You're causing crashes. You're doing this. You're doing that. What do you think about what everybody's saying?" And Dale Earnhardt, with that shit-eating grin and that goofy little mustache of his, turns around and goes, "Dr. Punch, I don't really care what any of them are talking about as long as they're talking about me." And there you go.
You'd rather
what
be
we're
talked about
doing.
than not talked about at all.
That's right. And so we're giving them that platform, and all these things that we hate and these people, just bringing them up, mentioning their names, giving them any kind of that much of anything above the good stuff or the community or getting outside, doing things for you, having good things, talking about good things. Guess what, dummy? You're the one causing it. Stop it already. Stop championing these people
propagating
overnight.
that crap,
and propagating the crap.
We have lived through a generation, our generation, to not hide anymore, to be who we want to be. And that's wonderful. It is wonderful. Be who you want to be. But you're only hearing, and all these kids are hearing, be who you want to be, like live your life, do whatever you want. But what everyone is forgetting is that during this time, it's gotten more and more and more and more and more of that reality. And it needs to be more, live how you want to live. But you don't have to literally tread on me. I love that. You don't have, because you don't have to go ahead and do what you want to do, but you don't have to be so vocal and be, be the champion of the room. People need to learn how to, I think, to be a little bit more subtle, patient. It's already all right to be who you want to be. We don't have to continue that anymore. We already know that's okay, right? Now we need to learn how to be kind again.
Well, live and let live. Everybody wants to live it their way, but they don't want anybody else to live it
exactly.
So it's like we were talking about this kind of thing earlier before we started, is that how, people don't.
People got to be right.
Got to be right. It's like, for example.
Right.
Let it go.
At all costs.
And NASCAR, this is a good point, our generation.
I know. I do love our NASCAR talk.
The NASCAR thing, when we were kids, okay, you were either a Chevy man or you were a Ford man.
I'd rather push my Ford than drive a Chevy.
That's right. Yeah. And you could be mortal enemies.
Ford guy.
You could be mortal enemies with the guy that, for in my case, that the Bill Elliott guy, and I'm the Dale Earnhardt guy. But we could disagree, but still watch the race together and get along. It wasn't like I just despise, I hate you because you like Bill Elliott. Yeah. No, it was a running conversation, a healthy,
Well, we found things to pick at.
That's the thing.
Aggravate and to make jokes, it didn't matter.
About those things, but the things that are being discussed are so serious.
Yeah.
And it's like, when you start talking about race or, abortion and people, and it's so wildly talked about, these intense conversations. And it's like, it gets to different levels with people. But it's being the attention to that also is being brought to by social media and internet. And people are going crazy. And it's and so we have a platform now to openly discuss these things that sometimes, what? Just keep your shit to yourself.
Well, hello, music lovers. Campbell's Music Room Guitars was opened and founded by our longtime friend Kyle Campbell back in 2017. If you're a beginner or a seasoned pro, you're always needing something. From strings, picks, or maybe a repair to your trusty instrument, Campbell's Music Room Guitars has a full line of all the stringed instruments. New and pre-owned, accessories, pedals, amplifiers, and here's the best part, it's a local, family-owned business where you will get the very best of sales and service from the owner himself. Campbell's Music Room Guitars has something for everyone. Did we mention that he also gives private lessons? Kyle is one of Knoxville's most multi-talented players and teachers with many years of professional teaching experience. Located at 5103 Kingston Pike, open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Give Kyle a call at 865-584-0041 or stop by and tell him McGill and Jamie sent you and you wanted to have one more for the good guys. But I think that it's important that you if you're going to have all these opinions and you're going to stand so steadfast and strong in these opinions,
back it up.
You need to back it up, and or you need to have studied a little bit and learned a little bit about all of it before you can start taking the podium.
Yeah, make an informed opinion instead of what you just heard somewhere.
Yes.
And an informed opinion might actually
change your mind.
Might change your mind.
And you know what? You might be less angry.
Yeah, and you might actually get to continue a conversation with somebody.
And blue zone.
Yeah.
You can get in the blue zone.
You got to have the blue zone.
They don't have no damn social media in the blue zone.
They don't have social media in the blue zone.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
That wasn't one of the
absolutely.
That wasn't one of the tenets of the blue zone.
Thanks, y'all. High five.
Yeah, well, that's what we're here. You know, we've got this podcast is called One More for the Good Guys, and we were just talking about it last week. Jamie and I were both talking about it, and while we're talking about all this, one of our discussions with I guess it was 2 weeks ago, Daniel Kimbrough was here, and Daniel Kimbrough.
That was 3 weeks ago.
I was about to bring him up.
Was it 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, because Brendan was here.
That's right. Brendan James Wright was here.
Yeah.
The week after that. At any rate,
suddenly
this came up in conversation with Jamie and myself, and we call this One More for the Good Guys, and I like to think of myself as a good guy. Jamie as well, and guests. Good gals, good guys, whatever the case may be. And that's who we want on. But we got to talking about this, and we figured that if we're going to do this, and in the name of Anne Murray, we sure could use a little good news today. We started wanting to share a little bit of good things that are going on in the world. So this is the first time that positive news, we'll just call this positive news. What went right this week, the good news you all should know about. The world's largest offshore wind farm powered up. Dogger Bank, which is set to be the biggest offshore wind farm on the planet when it's completed in 2026, produced electricity for the first time this week. The first of a planned 277 turbines began spinning 70 nautical miles off the coast of Yorkshire, with each turn of its blades generating enough clean energy to power the average home for 2 days.
Wow.
The project will eventually produce 3.6 gigawatts of power, enough for 6 million homes a year, and will deliver annual emissions savings equivalent to taking 1.5 million cars off the road, say those behind its efforts.
How many gigawatts was it?
3.6 gigawatts.
That's enough to power a DeLorean, too.
Yes, and go back in time. That's long as you hit 88.
That's right.
What are we going to do with all the other gas-powered things?
No.
Well, we're yeah. one thing at a time there. It's being built on a joint venture between the UK's SSE Renewables and Norwegian firms Equinor and Vorgron. So a little bit of good news, positive news that's coming out as far as the world is concerned off the, was producing some, clean energy with the world's largest offshore wind farm powered up. What went right this week, the good news you should know about. In another case here in the States, within 24 hours of devastating Lahaina wildfire, Dr. Corey Lahano's phone was blowing up. 43 voicemails of what he described as a ton of text messages from patients seeking help. The Maui fires hadn't just destroyed their homes, but had burnt through the medications they needed to survive. The town had been left with no pharmacy, so Lahano, who runs the Malalo pharmacy roughly 40 minutes from the town, decided to mobilize and head out to help patients get those many medications and many cases for free. The first few days were really chaotic, and it was really sad. There was a lot of patients who needed acute medical treatment. But more than half of the thousands of doses of medication his team has prescribed have been written off and free of cost to any patient. He said survivors of the wildfire have already lost so much, and if they lose the medications they need to live, it would be another disaster. As many people require medication for their diabetes, cardiovascular health, mental health, and other issues, this was a way a small town pharmacy owner was able to help people in distress. So,
wow,
those are two good things.
I
One
hope
on
there
the
are
world.
more people that will do just that in the world, because
and I read the news all the time, and I haven't heard of either one of those stories.
Yeah.
So they're buried, because that doesn't, good news doesn't sell.
You know what? We might not be able to do as much as that man did, like, and heal a whole town. We can also give back by like just being nice to somebody. And then I was at the Three Rivers Co-op the other day, and this couple said their computers went down and they offered to pay for my groceries.
Wow.
And I was like, no, that's all right. And they're like, they stood there forever waiting for them to just ring mine up. And I thought, you know what? It was fine, and I didn't, but I was just like blown freaking away that somebody and they were just going to stand there and wait. They were waiting too. They were done, ready to leave, and they waited to make sure. I didn't even know these people, to make sure that I had my groceries.
Hey,
and I don't think I looked extra pitiful that day. I'm just saying,
Yeah. Well,
good deeds go a long way, and it's like that. No, I didn't, but I didn't need to take. And also, I wasn't going to be like, oh, yeah, okay, give me the money. I'm not going to try to take advantage or, it's just like, no, that's nice. Somebody was nice.
Hey,
absolutely.
Contrary to popular opinion, there still are good people.
And I feel like I was nice because I'm not that kind of person to be like, hey, yeah, okay, pay for my stuff. And hopefully I never see you again. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, to give, for someone to give, you have to freely give. There can't be things attached to it. Yeah. You give because you want to give, and you give not hoping that there's anything coming in return. And a majority of my life, I've had so many of those instances that people have done for me when I couldn't or didn't, or whatever the case may be. And, it just, anybody can be an asshole. Anybody can be an asshole. But it takes a more dedicated, a smarter person to be kind and to try to do the right things. So, speaking of nice things and giving back, your business, the Chop Shop, last year was a sponsor on the Mike McGill Christmas Spectacular. And your donation that the Chop Shop made created 750 meals for the Foods and Food for Kids program. with Second Harvest Food Bank. So you're giving back, Cindy. You're doing real good. That's good.
Well, I hope that's not the only time of the year
that
Chop Shop does that. But I definitely
hope to thank you.
You are always
and brag
welcome.
on you.
And I'm not good at being bragged about. I am not.
Well, you know what you do?
Look, I'm already starting to stutter. But you know what? Thank you.
There you go.
That's all you got to say.
That's all you got to say.
Just thank you.
That's my biggest pet peeve.
I'm working on it.
That's my biggest pet peeve with guys in the bands or
women
or people. All you do, it doesn't matter if you think you sucked a bag full of dicks.
It's true.
All you do is smile and say thank you.
I know, like when you do hair.
Most people that are giving you that compliment actually mean it. They're not just. It's not just lip service, you know. And so try that at home.
Yeah.
Just smile and say
being
thank you.
A hairdresser, you know.
Oh, I can only imagine.
You know, people don't know how to take a compliment for themselves. And I obviously am one of just, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm always like, this is like the best therapy 101 at home. Look at yourself sometimes in the mirror and say 3 good things about yourself and manifest it or whatever it is you need to do. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, say 3 good things about it and don't be vague. Like maybe every day say something different. And I tried this. I went to therapy.
Can I keep my clothes on?
Whatever you need to do. But
I can't say nothing.
I wish I could go to therapy all the time, but this is a long time. This woman tells me to do this. And the first time I was like, and it was weird. Yeah. And I thought, I'm going to do this. I'm going to tell clients when they're looking in this mirror at my shop, like, hey, tell me 3 good things about yourself. And you would not believe how many mostly ladies that will say, and I don't know if it's because we live in the South and maybe we're not allowed to say what's good about yourself. And they will cry. I had one lady say, I won't do it.
What the fuck?
I won't do it. And I was like, okay, you know what? That's fine. But try. That means that you probably should.
Yeah. Yeah. You think?
Say something nice about yourself.
Well, that's interesting because you know.
And then say something nice about yourself.
You have people right there. So you can hold a lot of that power to empower if you so choose, or you cut them bald headed. Either one.
Well, you know me. Yeah. I'm cutting them all bald headed. I'm just kidding. You know what? I think the reason I love doing hair so much, it's a little different than being a bartender, because that's just the moment, right? When you cut someone's hair and make them feel good about themselves, and hairdressers, especially during these times, it's like medical school education.
Yeah.
We take on a lot and we hear a lot, and we've had to, hair is everything to people,
well, it's very personal.
It's very personal, and it's emotional. It's all of the things. Yeah. I've done it so long. I can tell what someone's feeling as soon as they come in and ask me for something sometimes, but when you tell somebody that they look beautiful, they don't know how to act. People get they think that you're just saying that,
Yeah.
And so just say thank you. And I feel like we could all be better at that, because you're right. No one's just saying that just to say it.
No, and you'll weed through those that are just full of shit.
I say be impactful, because when you make someone feel
good,
they leave feeling so good that they probably make 10 other people feel good.
We can only hope.
But it's like when you're feeling good,
you're
making other people feel good. When you feel like shit, you're going to make other people feel like shit.
Well, and then think about, for on the other side of that is for just for your business alone, your return business, that people are, they come there, they have a good experience. They're empowered. They're talked to. They're treated well. Everybody likes to be bragged on.
I also feel like shit, and I have turned around and said some nasty shit and have made people feel like shit. So let's say like we're all striving for perfection. We just ain't got there yet. Well, just be conscious of it. I'm not trying to be like the enlightened one because by God, I am like a fucked up hot mess most of the time. But you know what? I'm fucking trying. Just try to be a better person, damn it.
I just want to be that much better tomorrow than I was today.
Me too. Here.
Well, what? I've never asked you this before, and I want to. What got you? What made you want to start doing hair? Was it just something you just always liked, or you just thought? Seriously,
I think I was just born to do it.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to. I've done it for 24 years, and I'm not even burnt out.
Since you were a little girl, did you cut all your doll's hairs? And
I had when I was a kid. I was born in 75, which the righteous year. Just kidding.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Someone told me that. And I thought it was kind of cool. They had anyway.
Those people are liars.
So like I had this like Barbie head that with the shoulders. It was like a bust.
Yeah.
And you can do makeup on her.
Oh yeah.
And I had that like in kindergarten. I remember going out on the playground and not playing with kids. I just wanted to braid my teacher's hair. Her name was Miss Davis at Sunnyview, and I would braid her hair.
Yeah.
And my mom, the crazy lady that she is, I love you, Mom. She told me not that long ago that it's a Chinese tradition to lay these objects on the table. And when your kid turns 1, they get to pick, they grab what they want.
Yeah.
And she said, I grabbed scissors. And the first time she told me this story when she saw me cutting someone's hair. And she said, oh, I thought you were going to, I thought you were going to murder me. I called my mom. I said, Mom, like she grabbed scissors. And she didn't understand. She thought I was going to murder her or something. She's a crazy person. And I said, Mom, it's still not too late. I'm just kidding. But like she saw me cutting hair and she told me that story. And I thought that was really cool. My brother, who's an ICU nurse, grabbed a pencil and she says he writes in charts all day long. But she said, I grabbed scissors. And then gives me a picture of me. Like we were in Holland. We lived in Holland. I was like 3 or 4 years. It was my 4th, I think.
Did you wear little wooden shoes?
Yeah. I did have a pair. It said Cindy Lynn on them.
Really?
Which is my middle name, by the way. But everyone calls me CL or Lou or Cindy Lou. I did have a pair.
Gosh.
I wish I still had them. But anyway.
I have one up there.
I love that.
Yeah.
So anyway, like we live there and she shows me this photo and it's of me on my birthday holding a salon in a box, a beauty shop in a box. And I am just tickled to death in this photo. I'm so happy. I'm showing my friend this box that I got. And you know what? Like, it is what it is. And so when I worked at the Long Branch, Diane, who's also very much like my mother, my Tennessee mother, I was working at the bar and she said, do you want to go to a beauty school still? Like, I don't want you wasting your life in this bar. So she paid my way through beauty school.
Wow.
And one day we were talking about how I was going to pay her back. And she said, Cindy, you just pay it forward.
There you go.
And so I make a point in my life.
Freely give.
Yes. And I never need anything. I'm not a millionaire, but I never need anything.
Right.
You just give. Help.
Yeah.
Do the good thing,
Yeah.
I get all the good shit now.
That's
law of attraction, Jamie.
Yeah, that's exactly it, man.
It's the law of attraction.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful story, though. And so I'm glad you asked that to back down to this.
Yeah.
And I hope I always help people. And again, I'm not perfect, but I'm trying to help people.
Well, I think
feel good. So say something good about yourself.
Absolutely. I think it's a great thing. I love that you, when you, I love that you do that, especially because, at her shop there are these humongous mirrors. And, of course, being a Leo, I like mirrors. I like looking at myself.
You look like a lion.
Most of the time, though.
You do kind of look. He could be those rosy chicks. He could have been. Hey,
Come on.
put him
up. Come on, put him up. Put him up. Come on, I'll fight you. Pull out some courage.
Put your one arm behind my back.
Pull out some courage.
Which one would I have been?
Let's
I hope
see.
you say none of them because I'm my own person.
You'd been Dorothy.
Is that because she was the girl?
Well, no.
I'm too mouthy to be.
I don't think you've got heart. You've got heart. So,
I've been Tin Man looking for the heart.
That was the heart. He didn't have a heart, right?
Yeah.
The lion didn't have any courage, and the scarecrow, no brains.
Yeah.
Well, maybe scarecrow for you. Maybe scarecrow. See?
Bitch.
You should have just took Dorothy.
Should have took Dorothy. That is exactly right.
I did come here tonight.
Yes, you did.
You're right. Maybe I was a scarecrow.
No brains. It's proof already. Again, you came here.
Damn you, Mike.
So you go to beauty school, and I'm sure you worked like everybody else in every but then also in every. Did you have a home as far as a salon, or did you have to learn the hard way that the salon business is a salon business, is the salon business, is the salon business?
Yeah, I don't know.
Kind of like the car business.
I started out doing hair.
You know what I'm saying?
I worked in a bunch of places while I had several jobs always, I worked at Manhattan's.
Yeah.
The bistro for Martha, who taught me a lot.
Yeah.
The Long Branch. And I would go to all these jobs and go to school. And I started out in college, but then I went to beauty school, and then I had all these jobs, and I started working in all the salons. And I bounced around because I didn't know where I fit in.
Right.
I'm not.
That's what I was getting at.
I don't really I don't think that I've ever really, I was raised with a bunch of boys. And I feel like sometimes I don't relate to what I feel like I do more now as I've gotten older, but I never felt like I related to women like that. I was just a little rough and tough around the edges and wanting to jump over fires and ride motorcycles and do burnout, and girls, a lot of girls didn't want to do that. I mean, they I feel like they do now, but anyway, it's funny, trying to find the place for me was hard. And then I decided that I was going to do hair on wheels. And I had a friend make.
I remember that.
Remember they had their little tires with fire around it, and it was like hair on wheels. And I would ride my little Sportster, like Harley, around with my hair kit, on the back, and I would go to people. And then there was this, and I would rent a little booth from Carl's Salon across from Fisher Tire, who now I'm dating. Bobby, at Fisher. It's funny. So I want, this place is for sale now, and I want it. There used to also be it was like not a funeral home. It was like it doesn't matter. Carl's Salon used to be where I would do hair on the side.
Right.
Anyway, and ride my motorcycle around hair on wheels. And so, that wasn't very good for me at the time because I didn't have any clients.
Right.
I had 10, so I was like, all right. So I started working in a salon, several, and I just couldn't fit in anywhere. And I finally found my place, worked there for a long time, ended up being an educator.
And where was this at?
Teaching.
Where was your place?
Huh?
Where was your place?
Where I worked the longest?
Yeah.
It was Salon Azure.
Okay.
And then I left there to open a place, which is now Chop Shop Hair Studio. And I've had it for now. This actually, the end of September, just recently, it would have been
16?
13 years.
13 years.
Wow.
I don't know. It's like really crazy. I never even wanted to have a hair salon. Ever.
So that was in 2010.
I kind of don't sometimes.
Well,
that happens.
You'll have that.
Yeah, you'll have that.
Yeah. I remember when you first got it and you worked your tail end off down there.
I just worked down there all night.
Yeah.
And I would do hair at my house in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel like it was right. I didn't want to be disrespectful to where I was working. So I was up front and said I signed a lease. And she didn't even ask for the key back. And I had to be like, do you want the key? And she went, oh, yeah, like, let me have the key back. But I went ahead and just quit or to whenever she needed me to. And in those days, they were like, you need to quit immediately. But I just was like, what would you like me to do? So anyway, I started doing hair in the shop and working or doing hair in my kitchen and getting this place ready and painting floors. And I mean, I love doing stuff.
Yeah, I remember
projects,
it.
so.
I remember it. And I came in there several times.
Hammering walls. And
Yeah. I don't think I actually helped you do any work.
That's okay.
But
plenty of work to be done.
But yeah, no kidding.
I'll call on you sometime.
Oh, I know you will. And you should. I
need to be better about asking.
I will help. Well, that's a hard thing. Asking is as hard as accepting most of the time, because you don't think, but, somebody's wanting to do that for you. Then it's kind of like to smile and say thank you. You just accept.
So Mike McGill comes to the chop shop or my living room and gets a yearly haircut. Usually right before his Christmas.
Yeah.
What is it? The
spectacular.
The Christmas spectacular.
Yeah. I've had 2 or 3 though this year.
Yeah.
I think from you.
You haven't.
I've had at least a couple.
You've had 2 this year, which I'm impressed.
What the fuck did I just say? 2 or 3?
2 or 3, but yeah, you said
I stood
several.
you up on the third one.
You said several, but I was going to 2.
Compared to 1.
Well, I mean, hey. That's awesome.
I won't be able, I won't have enough to donate this year.
I know. If you wait and do it every other year, then you can always donate.
You feel like you're going to jerk your face off, though. Like when your hair gets so long.
Really? Because you have so much hair on your face that, why are you going to jerk your face off when you already have all the hair on your face?
Like if you got a ponytail down to your butt almost, and you're sleeping, and you go to turn over, and you about to rip your damn head off.
Living religious.
It's like,
you look like you're in a drum circle. Living religious, whatever.
Oh man.
Let it grow.
I don't know. I was wanting to get it cut off. It's aggravating me. It was. And it was funny. It wasn't funny because it was not funny for you and not fair to you, but first time I'd been drunk and I couldn't tell you how long. And I got drunk over here one night. Hannah and them were staying the night next door with Mom. And it was like, oh, I don't have to be
on call.
I don't have to be on call. I can get a little loose, And I woke up 15 minutes after I was supposed to be at your place that day to get my hair cut. And she called me. She texted me. She's like, you stood me up? What's going on? Or are you coming? It was
probably smart ass, but also that's my sign. No, it might have been, but it was also because, are you okay?
Yeah.
In our language.
But I felt bad about it.
In our East Knoxville talk.
I felt
or
bad.
East Tennessee talk. No, whatever.
I felt bad about it. But that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Some people get a pass.
I was like, I can be there in 15 minutes.
Some people get a pass.
Well, thank you for giving me a pass. I hope you did. I guess you did. You're here. Hey, good guys and good gals alike. If you're looking for somewhere to go to get your hair did, then look no further than the Chop Shop Hair Studio. Our longtime friend and supporter, Cindy Lou, opened this spot located in Knoxville's very own Happy Holler back in 2010. Chop Shop Hair Studio offers a variety of services, including facial waxing, accessories, tools, and a complete line of men's and women's products, along with essential oils. A lover and supporter of the musical arts here locally and abroad, Cindy has a small stage with stringed instruments and offers discounts to guests if they are willing to play and or sing a song. The Chop Shop Hair Studio is a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll, and 100% pure style, just like our dear friend and owner, Cindy Lou. The hours are Tuesday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can also visit thechopshophairstudio.com and or call 865-525-4240 to book your next visit to go and get your hair did. Located at 1206 North Central Street, Knoxville, Tennessee, Chop Shop Hair Studios. Stop by and tell them McGill and Jamie sent you to have one more for the good guys. So,
are you kidding me? I would always come. If you needed me, I would be here.
I know
love
you would.
you. Like, it's fine.
I know you would. So 13 years as a
Employees.
business owner. What's been the biggest? Yeah.
So, like, people that you work like, and it's not like usually like now I have a great team now, and like
Yeah.
there are times you have a great, what you think is like the great team. No one's going to leave, but then someone leaves and a few people leave and you have to retrain. And you know what? Like sometimes I just don't have it in me. I think I'm too much of a free spirit. I think I'm like definitely a mix between I'm a grounded free spirit, but I'm too much of a free spirit to sometimes feel like own a hair salon or own any business. And then I had the hair stream. Remember that? It was like before everybody was like getting like all of, I was like, Ian Thomas. He was like, you should cut hair and just go. Cause I was going to Montana. I'd go on tour with all my friends sometimes and just hang out and vacation and hang out and listen to music. And it was like perfect. And I thought I should cut hair. And I was cutting hair sometimes along the way in random places. And I was like, I need to do this all the time. And Ian goes, he was saying I should have just carried my bag around, right? But I was like, of course, I'm like, I'm going to get I'm going to get an Airstream. I'm going to convert it and I'm going to do all this stuff. And, it was around the time also when my dad was sick and I feel like we lose ourselves sometimes and we start like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And and it's, instead of just grounding yourself into a position, and like digging in the dirt or whatever.
The hard stuff.
So I get, the hard stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, I think about this hair stream, but then it blew up and everybody was like, I'm doing a mobile blah, blah, blah. And I think about, I would have never had, I was invited to Newport Folk Festival.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
And I just didn't have the energy to take it there. Red Ants Pants and a few different ones. And I was like, I just don't. And it was like right at the beginning of it. And I just didn't have it in me. And I had the shop already, which was already
right.
And you have to choose.
Yeah.
I don't want all of that. I want to be simple. I want to keep it as simple as possible. That would be a whole nother job. And I don't want that.
Yeah. Got one because already.
I don't want another.
Yeah.
And finding the people to do all the things.
Yeah.
Because this is the key to business. Find the people to do the things that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
But that's also hard to do sometimes because you're like, and then be able to afford to pay them.
Especially now. It's even harder now.
God, it's so hard.
Yeah.
Okay. It's so hard. And you have to be, people need to be a lot more forgiving and kind in that, because I think people are also hard and don't also want to pay people what they need to make to live today.
Yeah.
There's so many things that are going on that contribute to that it's hard to dissect it all.
Yeah.
Which we don't have enough time in the day.
Well,
but if I could run for president, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, fuck.
I'd have it all figured out.
Yeah. Take about 10 minutes.
Oh, we could all take our 10 minutes and do better
than
we have been dealt.
Yeah.
In the times.
That's
in the past 10 years. No.
That's a different podcast, but yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Back to not being angry.
Yeah. There you go.
And I'm not angry today.
Yeah.
I'm actually super giggly.
It's hard when you feel like the left wing and the right wing belong to the same shitty bird. So
well, they do too, man.
They do. Yeah.
Well, people actually make up what they are now just to win or do the things. Like,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean? So nothing is what it is. Nothing is what they say it is. Like, who the hell do you believe?
Yeah.
Yep.
No. Yeah.
You have to research.
You have to. Yeah.
I had someone tell me the other day that they believed that there was kitty litter at the schools, and I said, oh, "Really? What schools?" I was, and they went LMU, and then they said Halls, and I thought, Halls of all the high schools and in this our surrounding areas, Halls would be the last school to have kitty litter because it's a good old boy. It's a good old boy school in the country.
Yeah.
They ain't going to have fucking kitty litter for the furry babies. And also, what cat goes to school? Which cat is going to school?
Yeah.
But I just couldn't believe it. You might as well told me you're a flat earther.
Yeah.
I can't believe anybody would believe that there's kitty litter in school.
Man. My mom said something about it the other day, and I was just like, Mom, honey, don't believe everything you.
I love you. Your face.
Fuck.
Mom, go back to bed.
No, I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't either. Boy, you'll get smacked in the face.
I'd say, shut up, you old lady. No, I wouldn't say that.
And you get smacked in the face.
Yeah, I get something thrown at me.
That
probably
iron
shot. I remember coming in one time with my dad when he was still living, he was like, boy, I wish you'd been here today. I said, oh, yeah.
I love stories that start that
think
way.
I've told you this. I think I've told Jamie probably, but I said, oh, yeah, why is that? And Dad, bless his heart, all he did was watch, the last year and a half of his life, just stayed in a chair and watched Fox News and the Weather Channel. And there was impending doom around every corner, whether it was on the Weather Channel or Fox News, Of course, you throw COVID and the pandemic and everything in on top of that and all the uncertainties and craziness of that. And, I wish you'd have been here. I was like, how's that? Oh, there's an old boy on TV, and he was talking about all this stuff, and he was, this and that and the other. And my dad would speak like this, too, a lot, and talk to you for 5 minutes, but you didn't know what the fuck he was saying.
Yeah.
Because it was like, well, yeah, and he, shucks. And boy, he had a lot to say, and it's like, and you still.
What did he say?
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? And he said, see how. So he said, he was, I can't remember if he was a pastor or evangelist or if he was a politician or what or who he was, but he was on there giving it was an opinion thing. And my dad said, I said, well, Dad, you know that you can't believe everything you hear, you know. He said, well, he was on TV. I said, Dad, they'll let any asshole on TV. I've been on fucking TV 25 times. He just looked at me like, you asshole, you know, like, I was like, shit, I didn't even have to wear a suit. I've been on there at least 20 or 25 times. You know, it's like, I don't mean nothing. But anyway, God rest his soul.
It was on TV. That was but you know, that just goes to show in his generation.
Yeah, that meant something.
You could take their word.
Yeah.
You know, if it was, well, I guess. I mean, I don't know. How the hell do I know?
Because you had nowhere to get any more information.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
So now there's so much information pumping that you're like, what the hell? You don't even know what is right and what is wrong.
Yeah.
It's like in that lyric in that Don Williams in Good Old Boys Like Me. Said I could burn myself up on bourbon and speed, or I could learn to talk like the man on the 6 o'clock news. You know, and then that was something. I mean.
Oh, yeah. Walter Cronkite didn't lie to you, buddy.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, he was the gospel.
Yeah.
To
Don Williams?
No, Walter Cronkite.
Like the news.
Oh, yeah. I thought.
You know.
Yeah, the news.
Well, Don Williams
is gospel too, but
was the gospel. Yeah.
But different gospels.
I mean, yeah.
But yeah, Walter Cronkite was maybe the most respected person in the country.
Yeah. Well, it was true journalism too. It wasn't opinion and propaganda pieces, you know.
Or trying to get ahead of something.
Yeah.
You know, if you're actually talking truth, nobody's going to listen. If you're going to talk truth, nobody's going to listen.
Yeah, I know. They don't want to hear it.
It's sad. I want to know truth.
There's people out there, and I know them, and I'm related to some of them. If you told them there was a fucking sack full of rattlesnakes laying over there in the floor, do not go near that fucking sack. Don't touch it. Don't look at it. Don't walk close to it. First thing they would do would have to go over there and pick that fucking sack full of rattlesnakes.
I'd rather be around those people than just to believe anything.
Yeah, because they're going to be dead soon if they pick up sacks full of rattlesnakes.
What if you just believe whatever?
Well, I mean,
What if you believe just whatever anybody? Well, I mean, okay, let's assume that they trust you because you're family.
Yeah.
But if I was on TV and I said, don't go pick up that bag because there's rattlesnakes in it. And someone goes over and grabs it.
Yeah.
There's another way. It's all about perspective, isn't it?
I guess. I don't know.
Because then, you know, I mean, I'm just saying it's all about perspective.
I don't know.
So the people that believe anything. So where do you draw the line?
I don't know. All I know is life's hard.
Who do you trust?
Life is hard.
Do you trust Cindy Lou or do you trust Mike McGill? I'm just kidding. The bag.
I trust
the bag.
Y'all can make up your own.
This guy.
Trust your trust your soul, man.
Exactly.
You know, a buddy of mine, we were talking about the news there.
Be right.
We were trying to figure out when that changed from, you know, the Cronkite days. And he made a good point. He's like, well, when CNN started doing 24-hour news.
Oh, absolutely.
He said there's not enough news to fill in 24 hours. So there's very little news and the rest of it was opinion pieces.
Yeah.
It's like when you used to get the newspaper, when there was a newspaper.
Yeah.
Used to be two.
Yeah, Journal and the Sentinel.
Yeah. And there was an editorial section and that was for opinion pieces.
Yeah.
But now the whole thing's an opinion piece.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah.
Well, to somebody.
You're going to find that you just want it to sell. And when you're struggling like the Sentinel, you should want, I guess, like something but you want it to be real. Maybe if they started selling, I don't know. I'm not going to say that about the Sentinel because I'm so happy that we have the Sentinel, but like, how could, I don't know the business of newspaper, but when paper is dying right now, trying to figure out how to keep it alive. What is that? Do you get desperate? Do you say, hey, I'm going to write the most outlandish things? I might tell the truth. But if you tell the truth and it's not interesting enough and you have to like maybe still lie around the edges to get people to buy the paper because everybody is looking for the lion's den.
Yeah, they're big. The biggest downfall of the newspapers is that right. By the time they print the news, I've known about it for 12 hours at least.
Yeah.
So I don't need to see it again. Yeah, and it's
print
instant.
Media
so they have to step it up and they have to make it right.
Yeah,
they have to find the.
They're going to have to change their subject matter. They're going to have to be something other than the news.
They need to change the subject matter.
Yeah, because they're competing with something they can't win. If we're an instant generation. We want to know right now, and I don't. I used to get the USA Today every day when I was in college, and I'd go through and I'd look at the box scores because they had a great sports section, and I'd see, and that was and even the Sentinel, that was a ritual for me. Sunday paper, I'd get that Sunday paper.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
that was a big thing.
It was 50 cents at first, and then it ended up being like $2, and it was this thick, and most of it was coupons, but it was a thing to do, and my granddad or my dad would like, oh, pass me that, and we'd swap sections, but that they're competing with something they can't win because you're not going to make people go back and turn off this. This killed the newspaper.
Yeah.
The cell phone, the smartphone.
There you go.
Yeah. So
for those of you listening.
Yeah, it's true. It has killed the paper. And unless you have, you're right. It doesn't even have to be outlandish. People are going in that direction a lot of times. It's like I feel like sometimes it's outlandish for people to look at it. And also, you're right. I love that you said that. The content is going to have to change. You're going to have to like shift it, like everything. You have to shift everything. Nothing can be the same. Education, the way our protocol on everything. When someone gets in a wreck now, there should be a couple of cops there. One to kind of handle whatever the situation, to call the ambulance, whatever, like blah, 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 whoever gets there, 911. But there also needs to be someone that guides traffic, right? People are so mad that they're driving over curbs around and doing U-turns in the middle of the road because they don't want to wait because that accident has inconvenienced.
They have there's no patience.
There's
anymore.
no patience and no protocol.
I don't have any.
It's
zero.
Like education. Like we can't keep teaching the way our protocols all have to change. They constantly have to change. And you need people that aren't lazy, that are willing to go in there and like teach these protocols to people because nothing can stay the same. We don't need people in office right now that are over the age of 65 because I'm going to go ahead and say 60 because you know what? Internet, cyber security, all of the things that have to do with our phone and internet. And when you don't even know how to send an email, nobody like that needs to be in office right now. There's too much going on. We need somebody with experience as maybe an advisor.
Yeah.
But if you don't know how internet works,
we need somebody knew how Twitter worked for sure.
Yeah.
And there's sometimes you can say too much. It's the thing about the print media you were talking about there is that magazines still sell, books still sell a lot, and
it's because I find that one hard.
That books still sell a lot. Well, the thing about
I think they're actually coming back.
The books.
No, I don't doubt it for a second.
Books and albums are coming back.
Yeah, but books never did as much as you want to say about the Kindle and these readers and stuff. It's just not the same experience.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so that saved books right there.
Yeah.
Whereas news, it's not news. The definition of news is it's new, and it's a newspaper's 24 hours behind. You'd wait to the next day somewhere to see who won the World Series.
You need a cover piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you need to,
because that's what magazines are doing that are different than.
Yeah, you need to get in the magazine business.
Cover,
is what you
need a better cover piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, the internet and all of its information is so much more than at live speed. It was 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Already.
It's forgettable.
Yeah, it was already 10 minutes ago.
And when you're retaining that fast, you forget that.
It was already 20 minutes. Exactly. There's only so much room up there in the old card catalog.
You have to actually go look for it and find it so you can retain it.
Yeah.
And then have a conversation about it.
Well, I'm the world's worst. I can watch 13 movies in 3 days or 14 episodes of 3 seasons of whatever, binge watching, and I can't tell you the fucking actors' names or
same.
Like the Game of Thrones thing. I couldn't keep, the redheaded girl, the one that's the witch, and then the other one, the little guy, and
I'm
then
too ADD to even watch TV.
The thing. So, but that's what it is. It's 10 minutes ago. It's a system overload.
Yeah.
And
we're tired and exhausted.
Processors
and stressed out.
Are not processing.
And it's stressing us out. It's stressing everybody out.
And you just can't process it that quick to make any real sense of it, in my
opinion. we're as a people, we're grasping at things that are not
real,
everlasting too.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's very good point.
We sit here, even if we don't do a podcast, we've been sitting here over a year on Tuesdays or one day a week for 3 or 4 hours at a time. And I'll watch between this Tuesday and next Tuesday, I'll watch 30 or 40 hours of something and all this stuff. But I get more out of this 4 hours here than I do out of all that.
Yeah.
Because it's not, it's something that's lasting. Everything boils down to, back to your Blue Zone thing, because I've been telling him about this. I've been really into that lately.
Awesome.
And that documentary on Netflix is very good. It's only 4 episodes. But anyway, the community part of that can't be overstated. It's like we are disconnected from people so much.
Yeah.
And look, part of me loves that because I want to be left alone. But also know it's almost like when you're a kid, you need to eat your vegetables, Jamie, because they're good for you. You need to interact with people because it's good for you, or you need to take a walk outside because it's good for you. It will, not just for your health, but for your soul. It will help you be a better you.
It's like if you brush your teeth, you won't lose any, and then you can eat.
Yeah. Correct.
Like it's just,
correct.
Yeah.
It's a small thing. Yes.
And that's what's missing now.
Well, it was beginning. That was all beginning more and more with this age and the digital age and being, attached to our computers, our phones, our tablets, blah, 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 our devices. And then, and then when COVID hit, it really just turned everything up to 11, of being disassociated.
I was looking for an out too. I'm not going to lie.
Well,
when that happened, I was looking to stop being such a social butterfly.
Well, see,
I didn't have a real hard time with it. I mean, I did in some ways.
All my musician friends had a hard time with it. I don't like you probably did have a hard time.
Well, but we were playing so much and you were playing so much. It was kind of almost to the point of burnout though.
I think that was a part of mine.
I met you I think 4 other times actually besides tonight, but
oh yeah.
I think that was a part of mine, but then also with having parents in their 80s, one being terminal. Yeah. My mind was so.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
you were focused on other things. You had something to, even though it was a terminal father and an elderly mother, you had something to occupy your isolation with. And see, talking about the law of attraction, we've been building up to this for years. Everybody's separate. I've got my phone. We can sit in the same room with people and I'm on my phone and we never say a word to each other. And we've been doing that for years. And all of a sudden the universe says, okay, I'll give you that for a year. You can isolate yourself now because you've been calling that to you forever. Here it is.
Whoa.
Sit at home.
Right. Yeah.
I've been thinking about that a lot.
That's wow.
It's very law of attraction-ish.
Law of attraction.
And okay, well, you'll get what you want.
Yeah.
Damn.
And that's really the law of attraction is maybe the most important law in the universe. It's like you're going to get what you want ultimately.
Just blew my mind, Jamie, because I'm like, you're right. You're 100% right. And it is. It's laid out there right for you, the law of attraction.
When it came along, I thought about that. I thought, man,
dang.
Because, when my grandparents and your parents too, I'm sure, mine not so much, but my grandparents, their neighbors, they were like close.
Yeah.
They were good buddies, the whole, not just the next door neighbor, the whole street. Oh yeah, that's so-and-so. I'm going down at Peggy, and all these people. And that is not in our generation at all.
No,
it's like I could live next to somebody for years and just say hi to them.
Yeah. I was more tolerant to my neighbor. I've got some weird, that's where I had a couple of, and I remember talking to this couple that lived across the street from me. And every time I had spoke to them before, they told me 4 different times that they were lawyers. And I thought, okay, what is that supposed to mean? Something. Yeah. But I'm a hairdresser.
Is that a threat up front?
I'm a hairdresser. No.
I've met you people before.
And, but it's funny. I actually took this moment. I was out in the garden doing stuff because my garden, I thought I was going to have like a rock and roll Biltmore. Like by the time this was done, I was planting all kinds of stuff. It was crazy. I was just in the yard all the time doing stuff. And I took the time to actually talk to them and get to know them more than I'd had. I still don't actually like them. They're still kind of assholes, but I took more of a time. I feel like I'm pretty intuitive. I think being a hairdresser and a bartender, I can look through people sometimes a little bit quicker than others because I'm like,
well, sure,
I see you.
Yeah.
Well, you are.
Yeah. I already thought that, but I actually took the time. And then it also sucks because I think that sometimes and I'm missing out because sometimes I don't get to know people because I'm like, oh, I already see through them.
Right.
But those people happen to be still assholes. But I took the time, damn it, to talk to them.
Yeah.
And look up and have a conversation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I thought that was a big deal,
Yeah. So it is a big deal for you. Because that's what you need to do. That's what we need to do, whether they're assholes or not.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You don't do it for them, you do it for yourself.
I found that.
Thank you. Yeah.
I found that I talked more to people during that time because if I'd wake up or, and somebody was on my mind, or if I thought about somebody periodically through the day or something like that, it was a text, it was a phone call, it was I reached out or tried to, and actually got to talk and reach out to some people that I knew, but never really knew, and got to meet and, not meet. I don't know why I said that, but just got to learn more about people that I didn't really know that much about to begin with. And, and that's part of what this is supposed to be all about is we've got so many we have such a eclectic group of people in our circles, and all of our circles intertwined so much.
Knoxville is a special place. I've said it all over the world. Knoxville is special.
Yeah.
It really is.
That I could see, this first run of guests and different people and stuff that we do, I can see it. I can see in the future of this, not very far removed from itself, that it's going to be, that we're going to grow out of that really quick. And that those circles that connect from all these original people, we're going to be getting more into, the professional world of different people, not just musicians, not just,
and not necessarily people, because most of these, everybody so far has been at least an acquaintance.
Yeah.
And, and to be able to take that to a different level, it's like we play with Poe Hannah all the time, right?
Yeah.
But we learn more in the 2.5 hours sitting here than we have in 300 gigs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I never ask you some of the questions that I've asked you, even if we're out and we're drinking or we're hanging out or we're at a show or we're having a good time, or if I'm in your chair. So this gives you the opportunity to not only kind of be introduced, not even reintroduced to your friends. I mean, because there was so much stuff that you don't know, that you don't ever talk about or you don't ask, about the business or how you got into this or why do you like this? What was the, all that kind of thing. So pretty cool.
Yep.
I'm honored that I was asked to come speak on your podcast.
Yeah. Well,
it actually went pleasantly more surprising than than I even imagined. And I'm so glad I got to sit here and talk and do this, because I, as a hairdresser, sit and talk to people all day long. They tell me everything.
Yeah.
So it's rare.
Yeah.
People actually ask about me, and I honestly think that I'm pretty interesting. Just like we all do. But, I feel like I'm older and I feel like I have a lot to share.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of cool shit,
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
I've been to lots of different countries and shared. I've cut hair in the most strange places, it's kind of cool, I just take my scissors, because there's something about taking your scissors somewhere. Like
I was
your
getting
guitar,
ready to say,
right? When you take your guitar and you play music and you shift the way people are feeling.
Yeah.
It's by playing a song. Well, you do that by giving someone a haircut too. And hopefully it passes on.
Yeah.
So when you go and you bring your scissors along and you cut hair, and you have these experiences, it's very intimate and touching, and you help make someone, they won't ever forget that haircut either, right?
Yeah.
It's I just sat on the side of the river and, Polebridge, Montana, and cut someone's hair,
I was getting ready to say,
and Kauai. Hawaii, or
I was getting ready to ask,
New Zealand.
what is the strangest, where's the strangest place you ever
in front
gave
of
someone a haircut?
In Livingston, in front of a bakery.
Just out of the blue?
Yeah.
Guy or girl walks by and just snatch them up?
It was somebody that was a friend of the friend that owned the bakery, and was going to get coffee in the morning. And I was like, well, I'll just do it in front of Livingston at the coffee shop, and, fuck it, get a bagel. So I don't know. You never know.
That's awesome.
And it makes somebody feel so good.
Yeah.
I wish my guitar was easier to hide like scissors were, though.
It's easier to carry on the airplane
well,
than scissors.
definitely, but But just kind of hide too, though, honestly. I mean, like really, truly mean hide just because you come walking in or you're carrying it around and it's like people expect it.
Oh my God.
That's one of my things that I hate worse than any fucking thing.
You're right. I play fiddle. Well,
you know, like
I've just started playing fiddle in the last 10 years and I play old time fiddle. And it's funny. I used to wear my old heavy metal t-shirts and they'd be like, I can't believe this girl's going to want to play, you know, and I love when I go to like my old time jams or like go to these things and I walk in like that and everyone's like, are you kidding me? This girl's playing old time fiddle. I'm not that good at it. But what's funny is that's a little instrument. Sometimes you can carry it around, especially at the beginning when I was learning.
Yeah.
I would take it with me if I went to California to see my mom and people would want me to play. And it was like, no, you really don't. I have to go to the back. Like, you really don't want to see me play. It's horrible.
Right.
And somebody gave me $20 once to play and it was awful. And I still took their money. It was so bad. I still sound that way, but like, it was hilarious because I was like, please. And people would be like, you gonna play, you know, Devil Goes Down to Georgia, and I was like,
my God.
no, no, I'll play old Joe Clark.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Yeah, like, is that okay? Like, I can't do it. Like, and I can't imagine being a musician as yourselves, and like.
Well, the worst is when
you're actually good. You know lots of songs.
Yeah. Well, the worst is when somebody like, you know, you think they're asking you to their party or their little get together because they want your company.
But bring your guitar.
Yeah, bring your guitar and you can play us some stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I've been invited.
How about I keep my guitar at home and you go fuck yourself?
Yeah, come on. That's right.
Come over to my party
and you work for free.
Yeah,
ass, gas, or grass. Ain't nobody riding this one for free.
I've actually had someone invite me to their daughter's wedding. It was a small little wedding, like outside, like in Hot Springs, North Carolina, and want me to help her get her hair fixed, and then asked if I would bring my fiddle and play on and hike it up and play
for the wedding.
And
people have no shame.
Pissed. I was like, I'm not even I'm not even professional, you know? And also, I'm a hairdresser, and I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'll put a couple pins in your hair. But you want me now to fix your hair and play music? Well, shit.
Yeah, you want me to marry him too?
And I had to pay for my own dinner.
Yeah, you want me to marry him too?
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole different podcast, but I'm telling you, man.
Rude.
If you go and
don't
you
ask
decide,
for too much.
and you decide to do a song, or you want to, you know, there's people don't understand that either, especially when you're doing it for so long. And just like what you're saying with cutting hair and fixing hair and dictating someone's kindness is not allowed. You know?
Be reasonable. Be kind.
Yeah.
Don't ask for too much.
I mean,
and don't assume that everyone's your fucking friend.
Yeah.
That they're just like, because they're kind to you, that they're going to do all the things for you for free. I've known you forever. I would never say, hey, Mike, come do this thing for nothing.
Yeah.
I might be like, would you please, God, please, pretty please, like maybe play a few songs for nothing? But you also, I'm going to say, you say no if you need to.
Well,
there's a fine line somewhere in there, right?
I don't show up at your shop expecting nothing for free.
I mean,
you know what I mean? It's like
you don't want to do nothing for free.
Well, and it's
like,
not.
Nice.
It's not just that, but you are a professional.
And so are you,
and I am as well. And there's sometimes that I don't want to have to flip the switch. I would like to be a regular person.
Yeah.
And just enjoy folks' company. I
want my friends
and
to
the whole deal.
Pay me.
I don't want to have to
Your friends should want to pay you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't
because they'll pay a stranger.
pay your pay your friends to do the job.
Absolutely.
Do not right?
Yeah.
Pay your friends.
Be a friend.
Be a friend.
Yeah.
Pay your friend to do. And I always feel like I have to give a friend a discount because I know everybody in this town. But because I know everybody in this town, and you're constantly shelling out discounts. My first year of business, I gave $20,000 worth of discounts out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn! And I'm new in business because I was just. But you know what? There's also a level of that you want to do, so you can bring people to
there's
you
a certain
and watch
amount
you and come,
there's a certain amount that can work for you. Hey folks, if you're looking for a cool, eclectic place with an outside patio, plenty of UT sports games, cold beer, and live music on the weekends, then look no further than one of our homes away from home, Trailhead Beer Market, located at 1317 Island Home Avenue in South Knoxville, Tennessee. Trailhead is South Knoxville's first beer market, situated on the banks of the Tennessee River and in the backyard of the Urban Wilderness and Iams Nature Center. You can find more info on Facebook and Instagram about specials, live acts, and the goings-on, and be sure to tell them McGill and Jamie sent you, and have one more for the good guys. So... there's just sometimes you just want to be a damn real person, a regular person, and not have to be it's like the jester.
Yeah, or feel like you're expected to do something that.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why people hide.
Yeah.
I think that's why people get inward because they're like, I don't want to try anymore. I'm tired. I don't want to have any expectations of me, and I'm just going to stop.
Well, it's that what you said before, you just want it simple. Yeah. And it's the good thing with we've been doing one full band show a month and at least one solo performance a month. And it's just that's enough. I worked my ass off for many, many years playing 200, 150 dates a year, and it's just I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want all that fucking responsibility and work and, it's just this is easy. These guys are great. They play any fucking thing. We don't have to rehearse it to death. We can just fly by the seat of our pants sometimes. And there's nothing more fun than that because you can find the magic, instead of making the donuts, if that makes sense.
Make the magic, not make donuts.
I don't know. What's next for you? You got big things in the works, or you just still?
That's the dangerous ground that we walk is not knowing what we want, and I've always known what I've wanted, and I've kind of reaching a place where I'm maybe I'm just wanting less, and that's fine too.
Which isn't a bad thing.
No, learning how to just be, not feeling I have to fill in every single minute with something.
Yeah.
That's a thing,
Oh, it is. I have that.
Yeah.
Hypervigilance, it's called. Where you have to always be doing something.
Hypervigilance.
Yeah. Or your mind is doing something all the time. I have a hard time just. That's why I started
shutting the machine off.
Yeah. Very hard.
I told you what I did in a day. It sometimes it would just blow your mind.
Oh.
I mean, I will work all day doing hair, and I'll put out dumpster fires all day. People call in, and I've got to hear about so and so. And lately, it's been a lot of people have been dying, committing suicide. This morning, my first conversation with somebody was that their cousin tried to commit suicide and shot themselves, and they're in the hospital. Like, I mean, my cat died in bed with me the other day, and then we found, like it's like you find out somebody, like one person in our family's, father-in-law has brain cancer, and then you find out the next person, like your father-in-law, literally is like, is in stage 4 cancer, or someone's just drug overdose, or it is insane these days. And I'm like, today, actually, this whole weekend, I have really committed myself. I shouldn't say committed myself, but like I have been trying to think of ways that I can make people feel better. The mental health is so crazy. Yeah. One of the things on this list that I bought the other day is like this little self-care list, and I started passing out these sheets to everybody. One of the things on the list was having a dance party, and I decided at work, not at 4:00 or whatever, I was like, everyone's got to dance. Everyone's got to dance. I just thought that was pretty cool, but
yeah,
let's turn this around. Let's hear some good things. Like you said, you just had like the daily good news.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like,
just
we can do that in little things all day.
Absolutely. Well, and I think it's important.
I forget.
It's important,
I'm reminding myself by saying this out loud right now is what's happening. I'm not saying that you need to do this and you need to do that. I'm going to say I am going to have a dance party at 4:00 every day.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
At least 3 times a week.
Why wouldn't you? I mean,
we only live once. Why wouldn't we?
Well, it's just like, I don't know. I don't know why we wouldn't. I don't know why we wouldn't do.
Because we forget
things that we want to do.
We forget.
Well, I think there's that. And then I think we've also been, a lot of us, I'll say us. It's fine. A lot of folks, a lot of us get preconditioned in the way things are supposed to be, or the way we're told they are supposed to be or should be.
It's amazing what you can get. That's right. It's amazing what you can get used to. That's it.
You think for a moment, listen, every day I worked, let's say by the time I got out of high school and started like doing, the hashtag adult life shit, I hated every day of it. I fucking hated every day of it. I hated every fucking job I had. I hated every boss I had. I didn't like none of it. Hated it. Didn't.
You have to do your time.
You do. And I'm getting there. But, and then I found, I always knew music from choir and band and all that stuff through school. But then once I started playing and found out that I was pretty good at it and that I could do it. And then people started telling me, started confirming it,
And paying you.
And paying me. And then that guy come up to me and said, hey, I got this idea, and here I am, a single dad, got a job, and a pretty good job at that point, and he's like, yeah, I want to go pitch this idea to go entertain people that are waiting to go on a timeshare tour in Gatlinburg. And I'm like, well, sounds like the easiest thing in the world. But if I hadn't have done it, or if I'd have perfect example. I told my dad what I was going to do. I said, we went up there, we pitched this thing. They're going to pay us this. It's going to be something I love to do. And he's like, you're crazy. What do you mean you're going up there to do that? he's like, where's the stability? Where's the loyalty? And I was like, where was the loyalty when they busted you from fucking plant operator at KUB to shift mechanic after 28 years of working there?
Right.
It's like, loyalty's gone, Dad. That's ship's sailed. There ain't the day of the gold watch and chain no more. I said, I'm not going to sit around and watch my opportunity go by. I said, I don't know how I'm going to do it, how I'm going to raise my kid. I said, but I'm going to do it. And lo and behold, yeah,
raising your kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Loyalty.
Yeah.
You're trying to make money to raise your fucking family.
And be happy enough.
Yeah, not lose your mind.
And be happy enough that I'm not going to lose my mind or start stabbing people in the fucking necks.
Yeah.
You know?
I do know.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure.
I couldn't, but if I'd have thought conventional versus unconventional, I'd been just this miserable person for the last 20-something years.
Or maybe dead by now.
Or maybe dead. Maybe I wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, that's right.
You have to have outlets.
You know? So,
you had music as an outlet.
Definitely. But I guess what I'm getting at, too, is the fact that, you know, there are no conventional times anymore.
No.
For people here or people that are listening or people that will hear this, it is totally time for everyone, if you're able to do it, to bet on yourself and to work for yourself and to do as much of it as you can.
I think that people actually need to start helping each other
to
out.
Try to be happy.
I actually think
you know,
need to start helping each other out.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we are already too much in a time of ourselves. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people need to start helping each other out. I think about the Blue Zone, watching that, and it's like, I'm here. That little lady was like, I'm here to make people laugh. Like, we want to make people laugh.
Yeah. I think what he's talking about, though, is that, and this goes to the Blue Zone, one of the missing elements that the guy that came up with that whole terminology finally was able to quantify is all of those blue zones, the food, the community, all that, but they also all had a personal purpose.
Yeah.
That they were like they had purpose in their life, you know, and if you're working for the man, if you will, or doing something you're not called to do, it's really hard to do that 8 to 10 hours a day and then come home and then go after your dream. It's tough. A lot of people have done that, but I think what you're saying is when you're working for yourself, in other words, doing what you were born to do.
Yeah.
As opposed
figuring it out
instead of what you think you have to do,
I got you.
or somebody else thinks you have to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's like your dad grew up in an era, and mine would have said
Absolutely.
the same thing.
And I was thankful he was a hard worker.
Oh, yeah.
He was dedicated the way he was because he was a good
Or
dad.
just being true to what you are. You know?
But that generation was the no risk generation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that maybe he was saying that because he thought that you needed to further your career, like doing like music. And he was like, hey, listen, why would you go sell timeshares? That's not who you are. And so he was trying to maybe encourage you to like play.
Well, I was going to play music for people who were
buying
timeshares.
Yeah, he was going to.
I am so confused because I literally thought that you said that you were going to sell timeshares.
No.
And I was like, well, I don't see why you were doing that either. I'm sorry. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And that's why we didn't, you know, that could all be deleted. I literally thought
that's okay.
that you were saying that you went to sell timeshares. And I was like,
no.
Why? Why would you do that?
To provide for your family too, right?
Yeah.
Like to provide for your family. But and you have to do sometimes like I'm going to go do this thing.
No, I met this guy who was a banjo player, and he
way out of the park. Sorry.
He had sold time. That's okay. He had sold timeshares, and he had came up with this idea, but he needed help. He needed a front man. He needed me. And he needed somebody to help him write the show. And when he approached me with it, I was just like, I was very scared, but I said, well, we'll at least pitch it. We'll come up with the concept and pitch it to this company. And lo and behold, for like 6 years, I got to take, because we worked it out, I took my daughter to school every morning, went and played of the mornings, and was back home every afternoon to get her from school. And it couldn't have worked any better,
And that one decision created all that. Had you said, no, I better still sell cars or whatever.
Yeah.
We might not even be here right now.
Crime share.
Yeah. Oh man.
I swear I cannot believe
it's the robbery of the century, isn't it?
Yeah.
That whole conversation went in this weird way because I was like, you sold timeshare?
You're like, what the hell is he talking about?
I don't even know who you are right now. Who are you? Who are you? And I was like, maybe your dad was saying that maybe.
Yeah.
I was sitting there thinking, where is she going with this?
I'm so sorry.
No.
What do you
it's all right.
mean that you were like, okay.
I definitely.
I was about to get a little like, okay.
For the beginning of the show, definitely Scarecrow for sure.
Oh.
Scarecrow?
Yeah.
You're saying I have no brains?
That's what he just said.
Damn.
Well,
I think that maybe I was just stoned, or maybe my drink really got to me. But I feel like I've been able to keep up with the conversation.
Oh, you have. I'm just pulling your leg.
Damn, y'all.
He's an asshole. He's an asshole.
I think you're both assholes.
Well,
I'm still sitting here.
Well, you've nailed it.
But I was also invited.
You were invited.
You didn't know any better.
No.
See?
Yeah.
We forgot some other, you were doing the good news thing too. I meant to say this earlier. We forgot one good news thing that we didn't add in, and that's that the Astros are down 2-0.
No, that was good
with
news,
the Rangers. So that's good news.
Oh, I guess the Braves and the Phillies are playing tonight, aren't they?
Diamondbacks.
Or shit.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said Braves, Phillies.
Ken Burns baseball documentary?
Oh, love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
I remember, my fellow is a baseball person. When we first started dating, he said,
Bobby's a baseball guy?
Bobby Fischer is a huge baseball.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But he says, we went to watch that, and I was like the first 30 minutes, I was like,
yeah,
I was asleep. And he says, and I was like, well, I guess I'm just really not that into baseball. And he went, that's okay. You will be. Sweet as day. He was so sweet. He went, that's all right. You will be. And I'm okay. So do I like it now, 4 years later? I appreciate it more. I understand it more.
Yeah.
And that goes to say, when you start to understand something more,
that's right,
the more that you appreciate it.
Yeah. Well,
that's baseball.
Those are hard. Those are hard ones, especially that first couple of 3 innings.
Slow.
They're pretty slow with all the black and white and the early 1900s and late 1800s stuff. That's hard to get into, but yeah.
Is it Jackie
Robinson?
Yeah, he just wrote a book about Jackie Robinson.
Yeah. First man to break the color barrier in baseball.
I love that I actually date somebody that wants to read a book like that too. Right?
Yeah.
But it's about baseball. But baseball brings everybody together. It's like music and art. Like it brings people together. It also makes people act crazy. I've seen someone bust a bottle over someone's head over it. So I don't know.
Yeah. We're hardcore. We'd spend a lot of time here talking baseball. I did a lot of that.
Bobby said he couldn't wait to listen to the podcast. And I was like, we're just going to be talking a bunch of shit. I don't even know.
I take pictures of all the different hats and the stadiums I've been to.
The real question is, though, who is Bobby's team?
Oh, yeah.
he doesn't really. He's always gonna go like he. I think deep down the Braves, but I don't think it's really any. He's so like he just loves baseball. That
Loves the game.
He loves the game, and I think it's the way people think. And that was something I didn't realize about baseball. That it's like
it's a chess match.
It's like deep, and I love chess. Yeah, I love chess, and I never thought about baseball.
A lot of strategy
being like that, but since that, it's opened my whole brain up. It's like to like different things. Like I might not be into it, like football or watching Nico Case sing at the Bijou. I realized watching her sing, and I don't think about vocalists this way. I guess I just never thought about it. When she sang, she would face different corners because she is a vocalist. Like that's her. She would face different corners, and I used to work there. I've worked at the bistro. Like I used to be the house photographer there. It never registered to me that when you look in corners of places like that, these theaters, that you can manipulate your sound of your voice.
Yeah.
And she did that, and I remember seeing it and thinking, holy shit. It's like it opens your whole mind up to the possibilities of the thing. So baseball did that a little bit for me as well, where I was like, I never thought about it that way. It is a game of chess. The more you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of strategy involved.
Strategy.
The more you know.
So much history, too. I mean.
Oh, the history.
It's just.
Yeah.
It's the greatest game there is.
I use a lot of analogies.
BF, I hope you listen to this.
I use a lot of baseball analogies just with life in general, too, playing, everybody needs to turn it bad, chance. So yeah, you got to have everybody working together.
I like that.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, listen, chopshop.com, is that where people can find out all your stuff?
Chopshophairstudio.com.
Chopshophairstudio.com.
But chopshop.com can be yours for about $2,000, I bet.
Yeah, probably.
It's probably been somebody went and bought that domain in 1993.
I think even having Chop Shop Hair Studio is a big deal.
Yeah, I bet. I'm sure it is.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like that's probably a big deal. Yeah. I wish somebody would give me some money to take it.
Please.
Actually, I can include that in the selling price one day, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, you got your own.
Well, I do have this little stage.
Yeah.
And I have all these musical instruments in there. I have like upright bass, banjos, fiddles, guitars, and if people come in and play music, we give them a discount. It's a big deal to get up there and put yourself out there,
I've been on the Chop Shop stage before.
Yeah.
A few times.
Probably more than a few.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think it's kind of nice.
Making goo-goo eyes at all the pretty girls.
I remember the first time somebody played a song up there and I was cutting hair. I almost started to cry. I was like, this is amazing. It's amazing.
Well,
it's like you don't see that every day.
No,
like it just feels so good.
Well, and it was your a part of your vision, you got to see it come to life. It's very cool.
I want to cut here and listen to live music.
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
I mean, why not? Honky tonk.
Honky tonk. So if you or yours are looking to get your hairs did, go see my sweet friend, Cindy Lou, at the Chop Shop. You can find them on your social media, I would imagine, on Instagram. And if you're an old person, maybe on Facebook. I don't know. But chopshophairstudio.com. Cindy, it's been a blast. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks
I hope you've had a good time.
I have.
Would you like to come back sometime?
Let's see how this one goes.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like, I mean, I will just come back and talk shit with you guys anytime.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Whether
That's what
we're
I
on
mean.
this or not.
Yeah.
Do you edit this?
No.
Oh,
Damn it.
I mean, not much editing. No,
No.
starts and stops.
Yeah, we put a few little commercials in here and there. Hey,
I bet Daniel Kimbrough's was really good.
speaking of commercials, would you want us to do a commercial for you in the shop?
Sure.
Yeah, it's a freebie.
This, I felt like you just said it.
I'm gonna write one for it.
Whoa.
I'll write one up for it. So yeah, okay.
That's really sweet.
Well, you're. I have to be sweet to you because you're mean. You're the meanest woman I've ever met.
Well, she gave you a sticker.
Hey,
thing.
Cindy Lou is so mean. That's
How
smart.
mean is she?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Lightning.
sorry.
Sheesh.
Fuck.
Lightning.
Fuck.
She can eat a,
You know why I call him Lightning, don't
she
you?
can eat a Snicker bar.
She bear hunts with a switch.
In my boot.
Yeah. Hey, Jamie, you want to do another one?
Oh, yeah.
Folks, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for listening. We're going to do another one. Cindy's going to come back sometime. And for everybody out there, be kind to one another and love each other and try to do something nice. And while you're at it, cheers.
Cheers.
Have one more for the good guys.
One more for the good.
You either is or you ain't. You do or you don't. You can or you can't. Or you will or you won't. Either way, baby, a good man, well, he's hard to find.